First of all, before we do that, I would like everybody to pull out their driver's license or their ID card. And some of you guys are kind of a little hesitant there. Pull your driver's license out or your ID card. Then I want you to give it to somebody and give yours to them. Take somebody else and give. You guys are hesitant. Look at that. I hear no way. Why? Because we spend billions of dollars protecting our identity, right? We spend money on the ADT on our home security. We spend it on Brinks and the Norton antiviruses and the McAfee's. Why are we protecting our identity? Yet, somehow, it's easy for us to give who we are to the government, no questions asked. We can't. That's identity theft in its highest form right there, up close and personal in our face. We have kind of given it away. We got to get our identity back. Do you know who you are and what you believe? Yeah. Do you know who you are and what you believe? I'm going to just tell you I'm a Christian. I believe in the Constitution. I believe in God and family. I believe in the Declaration of Independence. I've traveled all around the world as a former executive at Walmart doing international. And gosh, this is the best country in the world. Always glad to come back to America. But that's what I believe. What do you believe? So my challenge number one is, do you really know who you are and what you believe? Because at that point, you can throw your idea away, because at core in your heart, you know who you are. You know what you will stand for and what you will not stand for. Who are you? What do you believe? When you know that, then you can move to step two. If you're following, the first one is identification. Who are you? What do you believe? What do you stand for? Number two is all about commitment. What are you committed to? What are you called to commit? What is greater than yourself that you're willing to get behind? You're here today. I take it that you're committed to a cause that says, I'm not going to take it anymore. I'm looking at your sign. Mad as hell. Give me liberty or give me death. No. You're here today. You're committed. What other things are you committed and that you will go and put your energies and time behind? You know who you are. You know what you stand for. You're committed. The next thing becomes getting connected. You're here, connect with one another. Don't go home not knowing anybody different than when you came here. I'm going to challenge you, will you go and identify who your neighbors are? Again, my mother always made sure that we were engaged in the community. We had 20 parents in our neighborhood. I knew every mother and father in the neighborhood. Why? Because they got on me if I was down the street throwing rocks. And now, before I got home, I was already in trouble again. We don't know who our neighbors are today. I can't get a kid to come cut my grass. But I know all my neighbors, because I got girls. I want to know who's up and down the street, who's in my community. I'm challenging you. Will you go home and do something different and identify who your neighbors are? You may not agree on politics. You may not agree on your religious beliefs. But you guys will probably agree on having a safe neighborhood to live in, and that your kids can run up and down the street and you can feel pretty secure that they're going to be okay. That's the connecting part. Connect with somebody. Share the vision that you have. There's others out there. You are not alone. So we got number one, identification. We got number two, committing to a cause greater than yourself. We got number three, where you're connecting with others, sharing the vision. The last piece, and I'm going to tell you, is when you know who you are and what you believe, when you're committed to a cause greater than yourself, when you're connecting with others so you know that you're not alone, then it's easy for you to go out and compete. Go out and fight for what's right and what's true. Let me share a story of what that means. Who knows who our sixth president of the United States happens to be? I think I heard the college kids over here. I think somebody said John Quincy Adams. That's exactly right. We're going to talk about all four of those. John Quincy Adams, sixth president of the United States, he knew some of the founding fathers. He said, something's not right. I know who I am and I know what I believe and I know what this Declaration of Independence says. However, we still got states that have slavery. But the Declaration says that all men are created equal. There's something not right. I'm perplexed. So he went into his presidency trying to abolish slavery. He ended up finishing his first term and it didn't succeed. There was still opposition. He knew what he believed. He was committed to a cause greater than himself. He's tried to connect. He was working it. He was in there fighting. He didn't succeed. He ended up running for re-election, lost the presidency because of his stance and his commitment to abolish slavery. He did something that no other president has done. Who knows what that is? He went back to Congress. The only president to go back into Congress. Why? Because he knew that the bills were being ushered from the House. And so if he went back into Congress, he can start pushing bills to abolish slavery. So he continued to drive home what he believed in, what he was committed to, connecting and sharing with others. The challenge was he was getting older, but he still had people listening and following. There was a lanky young man from out of Illinois, lived in a log cabin, who happened to become a senator and make his way to D.C. He got to start hearing John Quincy Adams and said, wow, I get that. I get that. John Quincy Adams would never see slavery abolished, but that lanky log cabin guy from Illinois, Senator Lincoln at the time, became President Abraham Lincoln, who would go on and abolish slavery. I say all that to say that if you're working on a cause committed to something greater than yourself, if you're connecting with others who can share a vision that you can impart that to them, and if you're willing to go in and fight, you can make things happen. That's where we are. So as I wrap, I just want to ask again, do you know who you are and what you believe?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Are you committed to a cause greater than yourself? Yes. Will you connect with somebody here today before you leave, because there's something that you can find in common that you can work toward, the vision, whether it's something as simple as saying, not only am I going to get to know who my neighbors are, I'm going to join the PTA. I'm going to become a scout leader. I'm going to join the Kiwanis or Work and Life Source. Why? Because then you start to figure and know who's in your community and who's in your neighbor. Then when somebody gets ready to run for office, you know who they are. Now you can feel pretty good about voting for them. Why? Because you know they will actually do what they say. And not, right now we don't know who these people are. They're not voting for you. Are they again representing you and voting as you ask them to? No. But if you get to know who your neighbors are, you say, you getting ready to run for office? Justice of the peace? I can vote for you. I can get on the phone and call for you because I know who you are. I'm engaged in the community. We can change our community. We can change Fayetteville. Once we do that, then we can start changing what's happening in Little Rock.
Amen.
Then we can start changing what's happening in D.C.
That's right.
Remember, we got 3 fingers pointing back at us. I'll leave you with this. Edward Everett Hale said, I am only one, but I am one. I cannot do everything, but I can do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do the something that I can do. What can I do? I should do. And what I should do by the grace of God, I will do.
Amen.
Go do it.
Are you guys fired up? Do you guys bring pencil and paper and write all that stuff down? You know what? You know what's here? There's a wealth of knowledge right here in this town center right now. And you know why? Because you're here. And you have a story that nobody else has. And Joseph Wood is nobody special, and he'll tell you that. He's a man. And the people up in Washington, they're nobody special, they're just people. And we as people, I want to be your neighbor. Let's be neighbors.